Keypirinha, like Keypirinha, a Brazilian cocktail. It's a fast launcher for keyboard ninjas on Windows. A launcher is a program that helps you to find and open things by typing, not just browsing folders or searching for shortcuts on your desktop. Windows has its own search, but it's slow. Sometimes it finds unrelated results, look huge and bloated, and consume quite a bit of your CPU and memory. But why a new launcher? Can it replace the Windows search bar and even some other applications? Well, other launchers are either not keyboard-only oriented, not flexible enough, not always extensible, too bloated, too slow, unstable, or just outdated. Keypirinha offers a recent alternative that is blazing fast, flexible, memory-efficient, battery-friendly, and smart about the search results it provides. Okay, we have to check this bold statement. I'll show what features it has, ways to configure how it works, and even customize how it looks. Hopefully, by the end of the video, it can at least replace default Windows search bar for good. So I had to go to their official website, download it, unzip it, and now I can use it. By default, you should press Ctrl plus Windows plus K. The launch box will appear somewhere in the middle of your screen. Type anything you want to find. For instance, if I press just F, there'll be results like Firefox, File Explorer, fonts, and so on. If you select an option, it will be prioritized next time you use the same search, so you don't have to look for it. That's handy when you constantly need a particular option to be selected. However, every time you select a different result, the priority will be reassigned. When you have a list of options, you can go scroll and select an option with the left click or enter. Alternatively, you can use dynamic shortcuts. Press Ctrl plus one of the listed numbers. Another thing that's available right away, actions. Press Ctrl plus Enter to open them. Then you can still do Ctrl plus a number to pick one. You can edit, open as administrator, explore final path, and so on. To close it, use Escape or Alt plus F4. By the way, you can drag results somewhere, like copying the file to another folder. Now we understand the basics of how to use Keypirinha, but what can it offer right out of the box? There are features included in the program by default. For convenience, Keypirinha is shipped with some packages, also called official packages, that are enabled by default. Internal package. Internal is the only package that is not visible on the file system. It gives access to some core features of the program. These are the commands to manage Keypirinha itself. You can find bookmarks. Of course, there is the calculator package with some advanced math, number suffixes, core functions, math functions. For those of you who wants to have an advanced search bar and a kind of inline complex calculator, this might be the program. You can even look for an environment variable. It can even be used with everything. It's a very detailed file search system. I would use it when I need to find a specific file or all the files with a keyword. In order to use it, you should launch everything and then type everything in Keypirinha. Press Tab and search for what you need. The FileBrowser package includes the option to browse a specific location, like a drive or a folder. You can also use a translator. You'll have to type in Translate
Bonjour
and specify the language in different ways. It uses Google Translate. There are also options to use PuTTY, that's a terminal emulator, which is usually used to connect to things like a server, a VM, etc. Check registry and open a specific address that you type. That's cool because usually when you need to change something in the registry, you'll have to navigate through a pretty long path of folders without ability to just type the address. You can split a long URL into its parts. With the string package, you can actually do more, like generate a password, hash a string, even convert URL arguments to JSON, and so on. Those are cool features for developers. You can simply type switch to and see all the running applications. If there are like 50 apps, especially on different virtual desktops, this can really help. Keypirinha by default does not open any search phrases as a link. However, you can paste something that looks like a link and it will open accordingly. If you need to search a phrase, just type web search. Then you can even choose a search engine. If you have a favorite engine, you can just type it straight away, like Google or YouTube. Those are the things you have just by downloading and launching Keypirinha. Not too bad, but that's not all. You can install even more. Third-party packages are the packages that aren't included included by default, so you have to check them and see which you like, and then install them. You can install package control first. It isn't built in by default. This package would help to install other packages more easily. When you have a package installed, you need to move it to this folder. To open the folder where Keypirinha is installed, I can just type in Keypirinha, then press Ctrl+Enter and choose Explore Final Path. Once it's installed, I can use it for package installation. There is a package to convert currencies, but somehow it didn't work and the package wasn't installed. I tried to install it again with package control, but it still didn't work. So I installed it manually after all, downloaded it and moved to the destination folder, and only then did it work. However, I didn't have any problems installing other packages via the launch box. By the way, if the result of your search is a text and you press enter, the text will be copied, like so. What else can be installed? CVT, a package for conversion of units of measure for area, data size, distance, energy. Okay, I'll install this. For this, I just need to type package control and CVT. Yeah, that's how the conversion looks. If you use Ditto, it's a clipboard manager. You can control it via Keypirinha. Epoch is a useful thing if you have to frequently convert time, for example, if you work with API requests and JSON files and so on. A funny package, Faker Data, useful if you need to create virtual people, like for your test accounts. I actually used it a few times. However, it seems they have pretty limited number of results for each type. Foodbar 2000 is a pretty popular desktop audio player that you can control through the launchbox too. There are packages to install emoji, though it isn't that handy for Windows 11. There was a problem with the native panel for Windows 10, where there wasn't even a search and it looked sloppy. Maybe Gitmoji makes a difference, but that's up to you. Heidi SQL, if you know what this is about, is there. Actually, it looks like a pretty good tool for managing MariaDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and so on. I guess those should be popular for developers. Kill, to kill a certain process. Kitty, a tool for SSH. Libsum, to create text for testing. I know this is a popular thing, for example, for web developers to check how the text will look on a website. MovieDB, actually a cool way to find information about a movie, TV show or an actor. You can find movie type, duration, scores and so on, or just see the popular ones as of today. MyIP, to get your IP address quickly. Pinboard, not sure if anybody even uses it. PPL, apparently stands for people. It's supposed to somehow interact with numbers and emails, but I couldn't really use it. Rocket Chat. SAP GUI. I learned it's an all-in-one solution for data processing engineers or something like that. ShareX, the best open source tool mainly for screenshots and recordings, and you can control it via this package, which is cool. Snippets, probably predefined text or something like that you can access using Launchbox. System commands, you can make your PC restart, shut down, sleep and so on. Time can be easily used instead of epoch, I guess. If you need the conversion of time, it's here. Units for different measurement system conversion. URL shortener gives you a tiny URL short link. Well, I find it pretty convenient as I often make long links to the Dropbox, and this thing helps me. Windows app to get your Microsoft App Store settings and applications. Windows System, an archived package that would allow you to use system and shell commands. That's all Keypirinha can offer for packaging. We can also do some configuration. If you type kconfig, you'll find an option to open the Keypirinha config. So the file on the left has descriptions and all the information you need to set up your own config, which is on the right side. First of all, I can specify if I want Keypirinha to be launched at startup. Alternatively, you could just move a shortcut of the exe file to the startup folder. Okay, let's try to change the combination that is used to invoke the launchbox. A quick reminder, by default it's Ctrl plus Windows plus K. I want to set it to Windows plus F. Oh, but that doesn't work, because I should use this kind of section declaration for the settings to take effect. Well, in this case it's app in the square brackets. But that still doesn't work somehow. After all the suffering, it occurred that Windows plus F cannot be used because it's used for a very useful and needed Windows feedback feature. What else can we do with the config? Hotkey to show the launchbox and paste the content of the clipboard if it contains text. So I can basically open the launchbox and paste the clip in one action. Let's try Alt+V. And it worked, but I don't think I'm gonna use it. Next, hotkey to show the launch box directly in history mode, Alt+H. It looks like this. There is the Keypirinha console option, but the default F2 key is just fine, so I'll skip this one. If you are concerned about your privacy, you can set the write log file to no, so that it will only record the current session. So each time you close Keypirinha, no data will be saved. Ignored packages. It allows you to turn off things you don't like, even built-in packages, and some more options that are too complicated for my understanding, so I just skip them. GUI section. Finally, you can control how Keypirinha should position the launch box. I usually use active monitor because I have several monitors, but the auto option is fine too. The auto option just opens it on your primary display all the time, so it wouldn't actually change it. But during the recording, I unfortunately used a non-existing option, so the config just ignored it and used auto. Auto width, you can play with it knowing your monitor and preferences specifics. By default it's 33 and here I have 25. You can even make the launch box be displayed on the top of any applications all the time. It's pretty cool though, and if you want you can just click somewhere out of the box and the launch box will disappear. For this you should set a different option for the hide on focus lost, either immediate or delayed. By default it's set to no. By the way, it can be pretty cool with the next option enabled too, which allows you to have your last search in the box if you just open the box. It's called Retain Last Search. And how cool is the thing that the search text is selected when opening it? Now, next week, do you want to delete all the text or close the launch box when pressing escape? For this, specify escape always closes, yes or no. You can even use space as tab, but I don't think it's something I would ever use. If loop scroll is enabled when the last result item is selected and the down key is pressed, selection will move up to the first result item, like this. And if it's set to no, you will scroll to the bottom and won't be jumped to the first line. The single click option allows you to not click twice. The selection will be just on hover or when you use your arrow keys. I actually like it and normally use it. Last clicks is just better. Next option in the list is max height, which is weird. Shouldn't it be next to the auto width? So 10 is the golden middle between two extremes. It has 10 options which can be invoked by hotkeys Ctrl+0 to 9. When it's more or less, there are more or fewer results, and they are also displayed differently on different displays. I'm moving this height option next to the width and changing it a bit so you can have an idea of how different it can look. You can really set it up for your use case. One more option. You can limit the number of results. Word separators. If you do not know what it is about, you can safely ignore it. Well, okay. So, I think we've discussed a lot of things we can do and set up. Now we can jump to visual customization of the launch box. Okay, you can choose a theme or even create your own. Will I manage to create a theme I like? Let's find out. Here's the link to the builder. There are actually a bunch of options. Apparently, I can make the box more transparent, change size of the borders, the distance between text and borders. Even satellite size is customizable. Basically, an option to change main icon display, the one that is displayed in the launch box. I guess there are more pre-built themes. There are like lots of them. You can just download the one you need and specify it in the config. I first tried to specify just the name of the theme, but it didn't work. I specified it in the GUI section. Even tried to reload the config, but it stayed the same. The thing is, I had to specify styles, but I realized it a bit later, or even too late. In the description, there is an instruction of how to use a different default program, like VS Code for text files. But after some digging, I realized that it doesn't open a file from the results in the launch box. It just opens Keypirinha config files using the specified programs. Back to theming, so you have to download the theme and move these parameters of the theme to the ini file, which is the main settings file. Ooh, I could actually manage to apply a base theme. They had even Shrek theme with the green text on mouse hover, and you can use it pretty easily. So now I need a base theme to start customization. I don't think I can pronounce the name of this one. So the first thing, to remove this icon on the top to simplify things. Then I tried some styling. There was a separate section for results. I'll try to pick colors I like. It shouldn't take too long. That should do. Now I can specify the theme in the file. Nope, this green background isn't perfect for me. I'll try some more. I can just change one property in the file. No need to download the theme again. This is better. I'm changing the fonts for better visibility. And also some tweaks with sizing and borders. But the margin doesn't work like in CSS, where you can specify every side of the box or every corner radius or something like that. Okay, and this was my final theme customization that I liked. The theme and all the parameters in the ini file will be in the description of the video. I totally forgot to show you how to use one of the predefined official themes. You just have to copy the name of the theme and paste it in the ini file, then save it. And that's all. You'll see the theme next time you open the launchbox. So I'm pretty happy with how it looks and how it feels. I'm using it instead of Windows Search because it's way more pleasant. One more thing, if you misspell a letter in a full sentence, there is a big chance that the results will show what you were looking for. This is due to the fuzzy search, a special technology that allows you to skip or change some characters. Search engine designers decide the amount of acceptable error if they use fuzzy search, and apparently Keypirinha has only one character to be misspelled.